Hi, this is Regina coming back at you. I want to take this time out to speak directly to those individuals that find themselves in a domestic situation, domestic violence situation. Listen, I've seen my share of women that were in violent situations. Matter of fact, I recall back in the 70s when I lived in Los Angeles. There was this woman that we became friends. She was much older than I, and but she and her boyfriend lived downstairs in the apartment downstairs. Um, Her name was Addie, and she was such a sweet person. Oh my gosh, she was such a sweet person, great person. Like I mean, she was just sweet. But I remember every it was either on a Friday or Saturday night. Sometimes it would switch Friday to Saturday. But I remember that she and her boyfriend, as far as I remember it, he was her boyfriend. He was not her husband. But I remember that they're drinking, playing music. We all knew each other. But then later on in the evening, I would hear a lot of rumbling going on. I was like, what in the world? Because they lived directly under our apartment. And their front door was open. Each apartment had a screen door, where you could lock it. And I would hear Addie just screaming, because he was beating her. I just couldn't understand that. This went on for 2 years, because we stayed there for 2 years and then we moved. But I would say to Addie, you know, why do you stay? Why do you allow him to stay? And her response was, oh, she loved him. There's not that much love in this world. I'm not taking no whippings or beatings from anybody. That's not going to happen. But, I just said, oh, okay. I don't understand. I also remember a couple of people that I knew back in the 70s. They were living on their own, and boyfriend and girlfriend, and the boyfriend would beat them up. And they stayed. They would take it because the boyfriend was the one who was paying the rent. And once he would beat the girlfriend up, he would go shower, get dressed, put his cologne on, and head out the door. He was going out to hang out with the guys, but he was going out to hang out with his other girlfriend. Okay, while she stayed, or it was two females, while they stayed at home with the kids. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. What was shocking was that it was said that was their way, by the boyfriend beating them, that was their way of knowing that the boyfriend loved them. And I remember seeing that's not love, that's abuse. But what could I do? My hands was tied. But you know what? When that statement was made, I remember, because it had been like around 72, 73. I remember watching an episode on Good Times. You may remember it. And Florida, who played the mom, she was having problems, not feeling like her family needed her. So anyway, Walona takes her to a woman's group. And these women is sitting around talking about their, relationships with their experiences at home, with their husbands. And I remember the lady who played Wanda. She said that if my husband, and don't quote me, but she said something to the fact that if my husband wasn't beating me on Thursday or Friday, I would think he didn't love me. That resonated with me, the prior conversation that I had with this friend who also made that same statement um, much earlier, like I said, prior to this show, because Good Times, I think they started in 74. So this was like 72, 73. But, they believe that that was the man's way of showing love. Love does not hurt. There should be no pain with love. So, for the women that are trying to escape their abusers, save every dime that you can save. Create a stash somewhere where he doesn't have access. Even if that stash has to be with someone you trust. I mean, you really have to trust a person. The one thing that I can definitely say to you is this: don't ever tell that person that you're leaving. Don't ever do it. I can actually speak about situations in my family that have happened. And unfortunately, these people lost their lives. If you're going to leave and don't look back. If you have no way of saving money, you can always get help. I don't care if you're able to get your hands on only $100. That $100 will get you away from your abuser. Go and don't look back. Don't ever think or convince yourself that you could have changed the situation. It was you. It wasn't you. It's him. When you get away from your abuser, please don't go back. Don't go back. When a person tells you that he would rather see you dead than with another person, believe him. It could be a female telling a man the same thing. If those words come out of that person's mouth, take it for face value. They mean exactly what they say. You have to be smart. Don't run to your family to get away, because think about it. That's the first place that they're going to go. Okay? Not only will they go there, they'll also stake out there just to see if there's any movement. In other words, if you or the kids are moving around, especially at night, go to a totally different state. This is why, for me, in my past marriages, I never revealed everything about myself, about my family. I did not. So I'm saying to you, if you're in that same situation, don't reveal everything. Or you're about to get into a relationship, don't reveal everything about yourself. Just enough. But once you escape your abuser, ladies, I beg you, don't go back. Please, don't go back. That man will take your life. Believe him. You have men out here, which I don't even call them men. That's a shell of a man. I can be in a relationship and it just doesn't work out between you and I, between that person and I. Do I want to call myself getting revenge to take that person's life? No. Let me put it like this. You're a good person. You're just not the person for me. So you'll be better off by yourself or with someone else, but not with me. And I don't want that person to bother me either. Okay? But one thing I'm not going to do is live in fear. So whatever you're planning to do, make a plan. I'm trying to remember the movie that I watched. And that young girl, she was very, she was good at what she did in the movie. How smart she was. Um, Heck, I can't think of the name of the movie. When I think about it, I'll post it down in the comments. I can't even think of that. She played in Pretty Woman. I can't call her name right now, but I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Well, she played a movie because she was a victim of violence. Her husband was an abuser, so she had to fake her own death in order to escape him, and eventually, he did track her down. So you got to be careful who you talk to. Loose lips will sink ships. Okay? By her conversation with one of the people at, I think it was the Y, where she actually practiced swimming, uh, she just said a little bit too much. That person called to check. She called the house to check on her. And the husband's trying to convince her, my wife doesn't swim. She never learned how to swim. And the woman said, oh, yes, she did, because she was taking lessons. Don't give out telephone numbers. You have to be, especially when you're involved in a domestic violent situation. Domestic violence situation. I said violent. Uh, you just have to be mindful who you talk to. But there are ways, there are resources out here available to help you. There are. And I'm just trying to encourage you to, once you escape, not to return. Don't make any phone calls. People, that man will demand to see his children. It's a trap. It's a trap. Because he's trying to get to you. Don't believe it. You will have to sit down at some point and talk to your kids, but you cannot allow your emotions to take over. Don't. You need to be strong for your children. There's a lot that they will not understand, and that's okay. And they may throw tantrums because they feel that you've been selfish. You have taken them away from their dad. Now, being that your kids, if you have children, are young, they've experienced or they were exposed, let me say it like that, they were exposed to much of the violence. Whether you and your spouse were in a room and he was beating you in the room, they still heard what was going on. And many times, those children require some form of therapy. It's traumatic. There have been situations where the man just didn't care. He beat his wife. He beat his girlfriend in front of the children. The sad thing about it is the boys, if they're sons, are watching. They become defenseless. They can't help mom. But that anger starts to grow inside of them. And eventually they will release that anger on their mate, their wife, their girlfriend, thinking it's okay. It's not okay. Violence is never the answer. It is not. So what I'm saying to you is make a plan. Keep your circle small. Connect with the right people. People that can quickly take you and your children in and get you out of that town, out of that city. Don't, when you visit places, and you don't even pick up, what do you call it, business cards, matches. You know, the match covers may have the name of the place where you just visited. Don't do it. Because that man, chances are, he tries to monitor your movement. Sweetie, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. But there's a lot of domestic violence going on right now behind closed doors. See, we like to judge people. We can't do that. It's easy to do, but you really don't know what's happening with that person behind closed doors. Just pay attention. If you can't help the situation, don't try and tear someone down. Please don't. On this channel, I want my best to inspire, motivate, encourage, help people, not tear them down. So there would be no bashing on this channel, only encouragement. Words of encouragement. If you want to add your comments in the comments below, feel free to do so. Again, be respectful. I am trying to build my platform, my channel. So I ask that you like and subscribe and also share my video or videos with your family and friends. I need this channel to be totally different. I want to touch millions and millions of people. Domestic violence is not only in the United States, it's throughout the world. And many people just stay because they feel that no one's going to believe them, no one's going to help them. They just stay and suffer. Well, I'm here. I have a voice. And I'm going to use my voice to help you. So, I will do my best to post more videos as topics come to me. I always pray and ask God to deliver me topics. What is it that I can say to the people to make a difference? I want to make a difference. There are so many YouTubers out here. People have, whether it's beauty, baking, cooking, whatever platform, I need my channel to be different. I need it to be different. I need to reach millions, if not billions of people. Ladies, listen, regardless what your abuser is trying to tell you, that you're worthless. And if you disappeared from this world, no one would ever miss you. That's a lie. I love you, and I don't even know you. You do matter. You matter. Your children need you. You need your children. God loves you. You do matter. See that abuser, chances are he was abused himself. And he's trying to pass it on to his sons. Don't let him. And don't make the mistake of telling your children that you're going to take a trip to visit a relative. Don't do it. Children are innocent. So, if you need to escape, grab your kids and run. Run. Because your life does depend on it. Okay? You matter. You do matter. You are beautiful. God created you. I love you. God loves you best. I promise you. You do not have to go through this alone. You do not. You do not. There are so many resources available. There are. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't. Because at some point in our lives, we need help. We do. Set aside any pride that you may have and think of it like this. You ask for help for you and your children because you guys do matter. I remember this happened in the 60s. It was either the late 50s or the mid 60s, where a cousin, she had, I want to say it was 3 children. She was beautiful. She told her husband, who was in the military, that she was leaving him. He was an abuser. And the day that she told him that they were leaving, which I believe was the following day, that monster, as my cousin, my dear sweet cousin, she and her children slept. They lived in a mobile home. That monster, he set the house on fire. They all died in that fire. Yeah. That's not something that I forget about. I remember these things. It's hurtful. He told her that he would rather see her dead than in the arms of another man. I imagine she didn't believe him. But he definitely set the mobile home on fire. So, any threats that your abuser makes toward you, believe him. Believe him. I've seen it where the individual actually took the person's life and then turned the gun on himself. If you want to go, why didn't he take his own life? Why did he have to take her life? like I said, I am compelled to make this video. I want to help you. I want to help however I am able to help. Connecting you with the right resources, so be it. But you matter. Your life does matter. You're not alone. Okay? Thank you for watching. Live and keep living. Please don't ever give up. You do matter. I love you.